I hadn't planned to do any recordings today, but we do tend to bring our recording equipment out up with us most times we come out, because it's nice to just do something spontaneous if you feel like it. And it's easier to bring it out today because I can just throw it in the pram, because we've brought Molly's pram out today. And the reason we've done this is I haven't brought it out for a few weeks, but I've noticed over the last 3 or 4 days that she's getting very, very tired on her way back from a walk, and I'm having to put her in the pram, and I can tell she is, because she's struggling, bless her little girl. She's kind of got her head down and she's panting, and I can tell she's getting very, very tired. And I have noticed that it's not so much on the grass areas that we walk on, it's more on the long straight paths like we're on today. And so I don't think it's as much, I think a lot of it is to do with the monotony of the path. Not really, when I say monotony, it's relative monotony. I mean, it's still beautiful and it's warm and it's lovely out here today with the sun coming through the trees, and there's a dapple light all over the path, and there's plenty for Molly to sniff at, and she's having a great time. And it's late afternoon, and this is our second walk today, but it's still not as interesting and diverting as the paths in the grass, where she can just snuffle about, and I think she's a lot more preoccupied. So no, I think she's aware of getting tired during our walk. So we brought the pram out today, which makes it easier for me, like I say, because I can just throw the bag in the pram and get the stuff out when I need it. And I decided to get the camera out now because we're actually on a path in an area where I did a video 12 months ago called Hobbies Save Your Sanity or something like that, and it was one of my popular videos. I think it got about 80,000 views, which is a lot for a little channel like ours, and it seemed to resonate with a lot of people. And because I came out here today and I suddenly thought, this is where we did that video, and it was about 12 months ago that I decided, let's revisit that, let's revisit hobbies, how important hobbies are. I think hobbies tend to be a bit of a seasonal thing, really. We don't do it as much in summer as we do in winter because of the long dark evenings. It's cold, it's dark, it's damp. You close the curtains and turn the heating up and snuggle in with a hot drink or a cold drink, and you pick up a hobby. And it could be any kind of hobby: knitting, painting, reading, recording, making music, anything, tapestry, cross stitch, anything at all. But it tends to be in that time of year when we do pick up our hobbies. Knitting I do a lot of in winter, I don't do so much of in summer because we've got so much more to occupy us. But I think it is still worth keeping your hand in during the summer months. Don't lose that skill, don't lose the knack, don't lose the enthusiasm, because it's always there. And even in summer it can be a great diversion on cold days and dark evenings. If cooking's your bag, then summer months are great for making fantastic salads. I love making salads. I throw everything into it. Making a salad is like a work of art, and the end result is absolutely fantastic. Summer months, times for painting, photography, things like that. It seems, doesn't it, like different times of year have specific times for specific hobbies. The summer months we've got now are times for people who like painting, to take the watercolours out into the fields. Photography is a fantastic hobby because it's available to everybody. And I was a semi-pro photographer at one time. Photography has been a passion of mine all my life, and I've had umpteen thousand very expensive cameras. But you don't have to have an expensive camera. You can use your phone, because what you've got to remember, I think it was something like Ansel Adams said it, is that a camera is just a light tight box with a hole in the front, and the rest is up to you. And so it's available to everyone. Don't get sucked down that path in any hobby you take up. Don't get sucked down that path that you're going to be better at it if you spend more money on it. Invariably, you do find that the people who produce the best results are the people who use the basic equipment, because the talent is in the person and not in. You could buy a £20,000 camera and still be rubbish if you don't learn the basics of camera, of composition and exposure and depth of field and all that kind of thing. If you don't learn that and put that to good use. But photography, painting. My father was a keen watercolour artist, and he used to take his easel out into the fields where they lived, and they used to, a little village called Edgeworth, and they used to call him the artist of Edgeworth. Even reading, I did a video years ago. I don't know whether I've deleted it or what, and I was sitting on a hillside extolling the virtues of reading. And it isn't. Reading is one of those things you think, I sit in a chair at home and read. No, books aren't big things. Stick one in your pocket if you're going for a walk, and if you find a nice bench somewhere and it's quiet, go there, take your book out, have a read. It's a fantastic experience. If you're planning to go out in the summer months to do a hobby in the countryside, painting, walking, bird watching, just seeing what wildflowers you can find, just being out there for the good of your health, it's always a good idea to make sure you've got some refreshment. Have a flask or something like that, and just a few biscuits or a sandwich or two, because I've found that if you go out, sometimes your walks are curtailed because you aren't prepared for the day. You go out and you get to a point where you're thirsty or you're hungry, or the weather changes and you're not prepared for it. So if you go out and get prepared to be out in the countryside, you can be there all day, and all it takes is a flask of tea or coffee. That's all it takes. And just take that hobby out into the countryside. Make the most of summer. Don't just think of hobbies as being a winter thing, a winter retreat, because they are. Obviously, there are so many hobbies that we do. We sit at a table in the middle of winter doing a jigsaw, we're knitting, we're painting, we're doing whatever. And I sound like an old fogey now, because do people do hobbies as much? Do younger people do hobbies? I mean, we've got the internet now, and YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, all sorts, and people are concentrating, TikTok, and people are concentrating on producing content for those. That can be a hobby, but I always think of hobbies as being something that's grounded in pre-technology times, when it was hands-on and constructing things and creative. It's all about creativity, and you can be creative on the internet. We're all doing that. I'm creating content now as I walk along, but there's this visceral quality about hobbies you do at home or in the field, with tactile things, with cotton and with wool and with paint, with a camera, taking audio. I know people who take audio of bird song, and they've created a tiny little speaker and create a little cone round it and go out and create fabulous recordings of birds in the countryside. And it sounds all very, very nerdy and things like that, but the value of these to your mental well-being, to your health, to getting you out in the countryside, you cannot quantify the value of being out and getting a hobby. Having a hobby, any hobby, a million hobbies. I've got a million hobbies. I'm not very good at any of them, but I try every one. And so you should. Don't just concentrate on one, concentrate on all of them. And you cannot put into words the value of a hobby in keeping your mind active and your hands active, especially when you're in older stages of life like me. Keeping your hands going, keeping them active, manipulated, keeping them flexible and fluid. And then you can come out on a day like this where the sun is warm. It's late in the afternoon, but the sun is so warm and beautiful, and the wind in the trees around me, I don't know whether you'll be able to hear it. It's kind of one of those, it's one of those frequencies that doesn't seem to get picked up very well. But it's beautiful. Molly's behind me, rolling in the grass. She's reveling in this. We took her out this morning, the paths were muddy, and she was rolling on the muddy path then. She just likes rolling. I think she likes the feeling of cool ground on a fur on a warm day. And this is gorgeous. I didn't bring a book out today, but I could. Can you imagine now if I'd have brought a book out? We could have sat in the grass over there for half an hour and had a bit of a read. We could have just brought a pen and a pad out, wrote a bit of poetry, wrote a bit of prose, brought the camera out, did a bit of landscape photography, macro photography of the flowers and the plants, anything. And all that can be done outside. So don't just think of hobbies as being a winter pursuit. I think we do, don't we? We all think, when we think of a hobby, we think of tucking up in front of a warm fire on a winter evening, long winter evening, thinking, what can I do to take up the time till we do a hobby? But no, on a summer's day, when you can just sit, you sit and you do nothing. Or you can sit and do a bit of something. And that bit of something's a hobby. So think about it. Think on, young people. Get a hobby. I've got loads of hobbies. And I'm glad. And I don't know when I started, because I didn't do hobbies as a kid, as a young person. I think it was when I got a little bit older that I started doing hobbies. And then I never stopped, and I kept picking up more and more all the time, and never regretted one penny I've spent on any of them, and will continue doing them until the day that they nail down that lid. I'll probably bang on the lid and say, "No, can somebody pass me a number 8mm needle, please?" This is fantastic. Keep going on. Almost every video at the moment seems to end with "this is fantastic," because we're just going through this gorgeous weather, and we know. And kind of, oh, there's a rowan. There's a mountain ash behind me with a lot of berries on. Now, is that a precursor of a cold winter? Are they early? I think they are. It still looks nice though. So we're going to carry on. Get a hobby. Get a hobby, and we will see you on the flip. Peace and love.